All right, guys, Shotty T here with another Alliance War video. This is war number 9 of the season, so we got 3 more wars left after this one. As you can see there, we facing Stubborn once again, highlighting the suicide rosters. Once again, get faked out by one of the rosters. Ends up not having suicides because 2 of those rosters were in my path. But nonetheless, like I said, there's the highlight there. But yeah, so we're 1-2 so far the second half of the season. Well, I mean 1-1, sorry. So obviously we want to make sure we get back to our winning ways for this war. So just highlighting the opponents I'm planning on facing. I will say I will not be fighting 13 fights this war. And I like war. I mean, the number of fights don't bother me, as long as it's fights that I can handle, at least. And more importantly, it doesn't cost me like a lot of items, which ultimately turns into units, which turns into money. So as long as it don't mess with my money, we're good. So anyway, the team we're going to run with this time is going to be Claire once again. And we're going to switch it up with Magic and Warlock. All right. All right, let's jump in. Anytime now. I think I was trying to rearrange the way the team looked to see if Warlock was in the middle, so that way he would be surrounded by 2 ladies, but unfortunately couldn't do it. All right, so here we go. We have first HitMonkey. And this is one of the rosters that I highlighted that had suicides. And I guess I got out of that for some reason. Oh, yeah. I was about to go back to work. That's what it was. So I just parked there until I got off work. All right, so here we go. We're going to go ahead and use these small boosts. Like I said, they give these boosts out like candy in this game now. So, and use it or lose it. I really have no other game modes that I really use these smaller boosts on because they're only 20 to 40 minutes. I'm not a big arena grinder. And like I said, if I run the Abyss, I'm doing the hour boost. So these 10, 15% boosts, I mean, I don't mind using them every war. It doesn't hurt to use it because they're pretty much given for free. So this fight, I try to just keep it simple because I know HitMonkey can be a little tricky. Every time you knock him down, he purifies the debuff, and I got hit there, and he hit me pretty hard, harder than I thought, considering I have a Warlock. So luckily, Warlock doesn't bleed. Otherwise, that would have hurt even more. So now we start to be a little bit more careful for this fight. We're not doing parry heavy. We're just going to do parry combos while that Fury is active. And get this fight over with. All right, so one more to do it. And then he purified that bleed, unfortunately. But there we go. So we lost more health than we wanted to for that fight because I do have plenty of other fights lined up for Warlock. So I'm going to have to use some potions there, unfortunately. Now this next fight is Nick Fury. It's a tricky placement, especially in second life, because he has a uninterrupted heavy attack. So a lot of times people, when he's in his second phase, you like to rely on attacking his heavy, but unfortunately you can't do that. So you have to have your intercept game on point or bait out his second medium. That way till he finishes a combo. That's another way. Now, I purposely, believe it or not, I purposely took that combo there because Claire, she's stun immune. I mean, not stun immune, but she's bleed immune in this phase. So I was able to gain power, get to SP2, and have that SP2 push him over 2 bars of power and push him over the tactical charge threshold of 20. So that way it'll start over. And also Claire's pretty good because when Nick Fury Fury buff is active, she can nullify it immediately as long as I have at least one of those mystic charges. As you can see, I have 5. So every time one of those charges pop up, I can just nullify it. And when he gets his second life, it's easier for me to gain those mystic charges. Anytime an opponent is immune to any type of debuff you try to place, Claire gains a little bit of power and she gains a mystic charge. So that's going to happen more so in his second life. So what I'm trying to do here is line up to where I have that passive fury when he starts his second life. I ended up not playing it correctly. But I got it started. And I wish I had more mystic charges. I would have thrown my SP3 right there, but I decided to be conservative. I just wait out his second life, let him degenerate down to 30% before I start attacking. Because he has a pretty high SIG, because that degeneration is not going quickly as it would if you have a low SIG Nick Fury. So we almost got him there. And now we're going to start attacking. We're going to try to see if we can get an intercept. But we got the SP3 in the back, in the corner. I mean, in the, like in our back pocket if it's needed. So like I said, you cannot interrupt this heavy. So, and I'm not even parrying right now to build up my mystic charge. I should have did that in hindsight. I was trying to knock him down somehow before throwing my SP3, but because when you knock him down from an SP3, it doesn't count as a knockdown. He still has that protective active. So that's, I guess, a glitch in the game. But as you saw, I did nullify his Fury when that Fury did pop up. And I thought that probably would have killed him. So I gotta deal with one more SP1 there. And all right, there's the intercept there, but now he has protection. But I also have assassins. All right, so that's the end of that fight. All right, so this is a 12-minute stretch here where we're just doing consecutive fights because we have the energy. So next we have Havok, another unstoppable heavy attack. And the key to Havok, of course, you normally try to rely on reparry. But a lot of times when you try to reparry, he'll attempt a heavy attack, which can be annoying, and then it can push you farther back into the corner. Now, the good thing about Warlock is when you do parry his medium attack, like non-contact attacks, it does cause some, it causes his power to drain, which leads to a little bit of degeneration as well, not much. But the most important thing is it kind of stops his power gain. It's not as critical on a node like this, but like nodes like Spite, where I see a lot of people place Havok. It's good to have that in your back pocket where you can degenerate him. But we're just gonna push him over 2 bars of power there. Gonna bait the SP2. Another thing that's tricky about this node is that he has 2 timers going on, so I can't really tell which timer is for his the node itself, where there's what the opponent will steal. What if you have more power than them, they'll just steal it from you, or whenever he's gaining a plasma charge. So I can't really tell. So I try to play it a little bit safe, and unfortunately this timer is about to run out and he steals my bar of power. But luckily that was a good thing because I was about to get cornered, so I was able to, he was able to throw his SP2 and fight my way out. But you can punish his SP2 unlike the SP1. So we're methodically going through this fight here. All right, now we finally get a chance to throw our SP2. That's what we've been trying to do this whole time. Just couldn't find that opening or the power meter to get there without him stealing it back. All right, next fight we have Mysterio. And I said, why not? Let's use magic. Like when I pre-planned this, I said I was gonna just use Warlock and just parry heavy him to death. But I figured that would be boring. So I said, oh, why not? Let's just use magic. can't be too bad of a fight. So we're just gonna, that way we can keep his power under control with the power snack, as well as the backup recovery. So we're just sitting and waiting. Okay, there we go. All right. So this is nothing outrageous. The only thing I don't want to do is bait him throwing his SB2, because what that does is going to drain my power, so it's counterproductive. So I just rather bait his SP1, wait for that purple meter to dissolve. That way I don't take any reflective damage if I attack him. And we throw our SP2. Now he's power locked and he's stuck in the magic limbo cycle. But because this is not a stun immune fight, I'm being conservative. I'm just parrying instead of trying to intercept, because every once in a while an intercept can go wrong, and that's a little bit of foreshadowing. But in this particular fight though, we're just keeping it simple. We got plenty of time. All right, one more combo. SB2 should do it. And not quite. All right, there we go. So not bad. All right, next we got Apocalypse. Now, I already had this game plan when I saw this fight. This is one of the main reasons why I brought Warlock. So I had applied the smaller boost. Now we're gonna put the health boost there, small health boost. So this is gonna be probably the simplest game plan fight. It's similar to what I did a couple of wars ago on that like that node where you gain more power the more debuff you have on you. I'm just gonna parry him until infection kicks in. There it is. And then it's gonna let him degenerate power. Now I did duel this profile just to make sure they had willpower mastery, because if they don't have willpower, then this strategy is irrelevant. Like, I dueled this person before I joined war, because I would have went with a different attack person against him if he did have willpower. If he didn't have willpower, I probably would have used magic and did the same thing I just did in that Mysterio fight. So go. So just parry. And we're not gonna bleed him because eventually he's gonna become bleed immune. So I'd rather save the bleeds when he's like armor broken or close to about to die, because I can get 2 levels of bleeds in there. So now he's armor broken. So now we're gonna try to see if we can get a bleed, or at least I thought I do. I thought I did. I think we're just waiting until he gets to the very end of his life. Okay, now he's bleeding. I think I can get one more bleed in there. We're just gonna wait for that one to expire. And go to SB2. There we go, there's the bleed, but he becomes immune. There it is. But we're almost done, and there it is. All right, so I originally had planned on fighting Professor X, but one of my teammates took it instead. I mean, I asked, because he had Human Torch. Human Torch a better matchup. So I could have used Claire and managed to fight, but like I said, teammate took it with Human Torch. So this is just false alarm. All right, so go to the next fight. So this next fight here, we got a Guardian. Nothing too complex about this fight. I could have gone with any option, really, but I'd rather keep it simple by just nullifying his armor, because the thing about Guardian is if he has an armor up buff and at least one of those yellow charges, any special attack that you throw, he guaranteed to auto block it if he has an armor active. If he doesn't have an armor active, he's not going to auto block your specials. Because that was a painful lesson I learned in the off-season war, where I got punished greatly trying to combo into a special attack, but he had an armor up buff and he had at least one of those force field charges, and I got auto block and countered combo into oblivion. So here we're just gonna keep baiting SP1. That's the preferred special. The evade, it's pretty easy to evade. You basically got that one beam. You kind of dash back, kind of similar to what you do against like Iceman, or really it's not even Iceman, because Iceman special is more elongated as far as the beam goes. Kind of almost like, yeah, I'll say Iceman. Yeah, Iceman, because it does have multiple hits to it. And then when he does his dash forward towards you, you dash back once he starts his dashing motion. Otherwise, if you dash too early, then his dash forward is basically going to follow you to where you are, and you're going to get punished. It doesn't hit that hard, but still, if it crits, which he doesn't have natural critical hits, but you'll just see big red numbers. So this is another fight. We're going to keep it simple with Warlock. We're going to do exactly what we did in that Apocalypse fight. Going to build up Infection. Now, the tricky part about this node is that Thor is stunned. If you try to intercept him, there's a chance that you can get auto blocked. So it's not 100%, but there's a chance. So because there's a chance, it's really not worth risking it. So I just fight him this whole fight with no protection, with just leaving it on basically, and just make sure I'm throwing my special attacks. And I guess I'm not sure what happened there. I believe the opponent had stand your ground mastery, at least enough to where they can resist a heavy attack, and apparently he resisted that heavy attack with a perfect block, which led to a parry. So that's something you don't see very often. Luckily, I had enough health to recover from that combo, but we carry on. So like I said, I'm just lining up my special attacks to make sure when it gets him over his 20 charge meter, he's at 12 now. Once he gets to 20, he automatically fills up 3 bars of power. The only way you stop it is if you throw a special attack. And I got pretty lucky there. He just ran into my SB2 and it actually counted as an intercept. So that's one way you can intercept him without being auto blocked. Just throw a special attack and intercept him. So now the damage is more ramped up, but now he just restored it. And he actually got me there, caught me off guard because I was not anticipating trigger and protect this whole time. So this time I'm just gonna play around with the Infection while he's building the pseudo 3 bars of power, but it's being counteracted with the Infection. All right, so we're just gonna reapply it there. And what we're doing right now, we're gonna go to SB3 to see if we can heal back some of that lost health. Like I said, Warlock has such great utility. He may not be the best counter to certain fights, but he can get through a load. He's like a Swiss Army knife. He can get through a lot of different scenarios. Kind of like Claire. So this is like the Swiss Army knife team. Magic, because magic is useful in a lot of power scenarios and some quirky scenarios where she can use the limbo to your advantage. So this is a good utility team here. And that's the end of that fight. So far the fights haven't been clean, but so far we are unscathed. All right, so we wake up the next morning, hoping that Nova was down. And I'm looking at the projection. We only got 2 kills on defense and 11 across the alliance. So kind of looking one-sided right now. So we're not on track to win. So I don't boost for these last few fights because, first of all, they're not the most difficult. So it's not necessary to boost. So this Nova fight is going to be pretty tricky. Now, I have to be careful not to apply the bleeds on him, because her bleeds, even they don't tick for much. So basically he's healing off of those bleeds. And on top of that, he's having a higher rate of power gain. So from prior videos, I've learned some lessons about facing Nova when he has a certain amount of Nova charges and has a Fury buff active. If he has at least 50 Nova charges and a Fury active, then any parry attempt, the next attack, he's going to shrug it off and auto block me. If he has 75 charges, that auto block turns into a parry, and the punish can be pretty great. So I'm not even going to try to evade that SP2. I'll just take the block damage. And like I said, he has those charges, but unfortunately I get close to the corner, so I just decided to throw a special waste one. And then he allowed me to intercept. I wasn't trying to, but I intercepted him when he had over those 100 charges or 75 charges, and I got parried, unfortunately. All right, so now, but we did get an intercept there, so at least I got my passive fury and was able to heal quite a bit from my SP2 there. So now we're back in control. But now we're back to that part where he'll auto block me if I intercept or parry attack him. So just gotta wait it out, wait for that unblockable to go away. Now his charges have reset, and we nullified all those buffs, but we unfortunately get him to another SP2 where he needs to throw it. There we go. Like I said, we just eat up the block damage, get a nice intercept, and we finish him off with the SP1. All right. Next fight we got Man Thing. Same as last war. I mean, it's nothing special. Go into poison mode and basically keep nullifying his buffs with SP2, Steel Power. Use the armor breaks that he applies when the acid thing expires on me. Use that to heal. So I end up basically finishing this fight close to 100% health. So just gonna let you guys watch the rest of this fight. Matter of fact, I might just play some music. All right, guys, so we're back. All right, so now this is probably the most interesting fight of the war. And again, you saw this fight last war, but this one goes a little different. Again, we did not boost. Like I said, it looked more likely it was going to be a waste of a boost. So this is a good opportunity to test myself to see how I do without boosting on the mini bosses. So just like before, we're just going to use her curse of the bleed to control his rock stacks. And if I get to 20 charges, it'll put me exactly at 2 bars of power. Heal off of that, and then finish the rest of the fight, like putting poison and incinerate into him. And that's how we finish it. But one small thing happens that kind of messes things up and almost kills me, depending on if he got all crits. You're gonna see it shortly. So I parried him by mistake. So he combos me, and luckily that didn't crit. If it crit, I was dead. I mean, if it crit, I was dead. I mean, that was a splash. So, but we still maintain our composure because I've been able to fight him on this node without really taking block damage. So I'm just have to be more careful now. I don't have that margin of error. Obviously, that I messed up my whole rock stat management there. So I got to make sure when he's close to the corner, I don't finish a 5-hit combo, because when you finish a 5-hit combo in the corner, they're more likely to chip you pretty quickly, or like into your block, and I don't want him hitting into my block at this point. So I'm just gonna do 4-hit combos when he's in the corner, and then retreat while still managing his rock stats. That's the most important thing here. Matter of fact, I'd rather just be neutral, or I'm in the middle. I mean, still facing his corner, because you don't want to get cornered against this guy. One of the worst people to get cornered against. All right, so we're gonna hit into his block 4 times and bait the unblockable special once again. And he's not throwing it. There it is. All right. All right, so now again we did a 4-hit combo. Do a little quick 2-hit combo to keep his stats under control. All right, so I got an opening here where I can do a 2-hit combo. He triggers protection, unfortunately, so that's gonna make my SP2 not deal as much damage, and as a result, don't heal as much. But I can at least afford to block now if I wanted to. So now we're gonna change stances to where he's in the poison phase. That way I can gain back some polka dot power, because I was gaining power previously with with him being bleed immune. Every time I tried to bleed, I gained power, but you can only gain power up till you get 20 mystic charges, which is what I have now. So once you get to 20 mystic charges, you can no longer gain power. I can still control his rock stacks, but I can't gain power. So I want to make sure that I can get the 2 bars of power by applying bleed, by applying poison and incinerate, and while still managing his rock stats. So this is like the ultimate multitasking fight. And a lot of people are not that great at multitasking. That's what makes this placement still challenging for some people. Right, so I'm pretty used to fighting thing on this node, so it's not that big of a deal. Even being taken all the way down to 10% health, or 1% health, I did not take any other block damage after that. I strictly fought this guy without a single intercept attempt. I mean, not intercept, but a single parry. I was basically fighting him as if he was the boss. So I could have taken this fight with the Magneto pre-fight, but I had someone else take it just to give them experience. Now the boss is up, and I'm looking at the standings. So they're almost done, and we got 31 kills now. So there's an improvement, but they got 44. So the war is already lost. In our BG, though, we're up. So unfortunately, it's a team game. So once again, we're going to go into the boss unboosted, and we go in with magic. And again, as you guys remember from a few wars back, I don't have any more power start boosts. So even if this war did count it, if it was still in the balance, I would not have been able to use that power start boost. But I would have still used like my regular boost and the mystic power boost. So it's just a matter of just getting to that first 2 bars of power, baiting the special. So I do a little 4-hit combo, idle, bait special, idle, bait, not bait special, bait heavy. So it's a little tactic there. So you just kind of stand there in that little space, and you can coax a heavy attack out of it. I'm just gonna eat this SP2. Now they're gonna try to evade it, because the whole purpose is just to get to that SP2, power lock them, and win the game. All right. So I did trigger protect, unfortunately. So I need the intercept to get rid of it. So I'm not even boosted. I trigger protect. All right. So we're just gonna do. So right now it's kind of a little bit slower, but we got the little standing intercept there. Now we just got rid of protection there with that intercept. So things are good. We got them in the magic cycle. Now that was a little tricky, but we got another standing intercept. Backdraft, he dodged it. I just kept going as if I was still doing the combo. So another backdraft, he doesn't cooperate that time. But once again, we're gonna go to SB2. So I had a thought. I said, okay, I'm gonna try to get way above 2 bars of power, throw the SP2, rush myself to SP3, which will nullify all of his debuffs. And with my Mystic Dispersion, it'll probably put me back up to 2 bars of power and then restart the magic cycle. But unfortunately, me just thinking that, I got intercepted and I died. So we had talked about intercepting earlier. But like I said, we lost the war. So I decided to go in with Warlock. One thing I forgot is that if he KOs anyone besides a tech champ, he starts the fight with 4 charges, and when that happens, when he light attacks into your block, you get stunned. So that was that. So that's the war, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Once again, like I said, we lost the war, but please like, share, subscribe, and hope you have a great day.